news for today. Trump and Musk. The honeymoon is over. They're breaking up. It's terrible. Alright, intro over. Why am I whispering? Well, I gotta imagine that some people who have been here for a minute have noticed that the background's a little bit different. I put up a bunch of soundproofing and I just need to check to see how it sounds. So, we're gonna be doing a good old fashioned ASMR politics. Let's get into it. Trump and Musk break up, and Washington holds its breath. Maybe it was always going to end this way, with two billionaires angrily posting about each other on social media, fingers flying across pocket-sized screens as their incandescent feud burned hotter by the minute. Okay, was it always going to end this way? Probably. Trump does not like to be upstaged in any way, shape, or form. And Elon, while he does have a much more genial kind of quality about him, he is also, a guy with an ego. You don't get to be the richest person on the planet. You don't get to start all these different companies if you don't have a little bit of an ego. And therefore, when these two people are going to fight, they're going to fight in public and they're going to call each other names. And it's kind of always going to happen. Now, why did it happen? Trump says it's because he cut the EV bill and nobody wanted to drive EVs. Obviously, Elon's majority of his money, all of his money, comes from Tesla. So an EV mandate helps him, helps his business. That's great for him. Obviously, personally, I don't think the EV technology is there yet. I don't think any of these electric vehicles, other than Tesla, are at all good investments. I would say do not buy them. Absolutely do not buy them. Tesla, maybe a little bit more. I hope you never get into an accident. They are absurdly expensive to repair. That being said, is that the actual reason? Probably not. Probably not. My guess is that there is some tension. I do think Elon actually wanted to cut government, significantly cut down on not only waste, but just the government in general. Look, the deficit is huge, it's enormous, it's growing, and we're not doing nearly enough to tackle that very serious, significant issue. Elon is getting stymied with his Doge initiative, and that probably sucked. He probably was not happy about that. Trump, unfortunately, look, the fact of the matter is that Trump is not a king. He's got to deal with all of these politicians, and every single one of them wants more spending. They want pork bills. This is that big, beautiful bill. It's a pork bill. It's giving people handouts here and there. It's okay, we're going to build some new project that's going to create jobs in your district. Oh, hey, we're going to grab this thing and we're going to spend some money here and blah, 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 blah. He's just sprinkling it around. Everybody gets a little taste. That's business as usual in Washington. And it is long term going to bite us in the butt. Absolutely no doubt about it. But I get it. Trump has to, govern. And to do that, he needs a coalition. And therefore, Elon Musk is not worth the rest of the political class. It sucks, but it's unfortunately the place we're at. But even if the finale was predictable, that didn't make it any less shocking. After long months, when Donald Trump and Elon Musk appeared united in their chaotic mission to remake Washington, their relationship imploded this week like a star-going supernova. This guy is really loving the hyperbole. It began with Musk complaining about the centerpiece of Trump's legislative agenda, which the president at first took in stride. Eventually, Trump let slip that he was disappointed in his former advisor, prompting Musk to unleash accused Trump of betraying promises to cut federal spending, shared a suggestion that the president should be impeached, and claimed without evidence that the government was concealing information about his association with infamous pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Perhaps most viciously, Musk insisted that Trump wouldn't have won last year's election without his help. That's not true. Okay, Musk saw the way the wind was blowing. He turned his sails and said, all right, I'm going to get into this. Everybody did this. Zuckerberg did this, you name it. All right, everybody saw Trump was going to win. So they course corrected, they oriented to his heading. Musk was the biggest, and I would say probably the first supporter to do it, so credit where credit is due. But he would have won regardless, absolutely. It's not to say he didn't help, but he absolutely would have won without him. Trump, not one to slouch from a fight, could no longer hold back. He posted that Musk had been wearing thin, that he had asked him to leave his administration, that the tech titan had gone crazy. Okay, yeah, everybody's going crazy. Maybe Trump threatened he should save taxpayer money by canceling government contracts and subsidies for Musk's companies. Now, again, do I like that the government is subsidizing private companies? No, I don't like it. Yes, absolutely, cut all of them. Cut all of them. Get rid of all of them. I think Elon will be fine. Elon will be fine. Amazon will be fine. They'll just have to actually restructure and do stuff on the level. They don't get any special dispensations that your normal mom and pop shop don't get. I'm happy with that. I think we're all happy with that, except for Amazon and Elon, because they want the advantages. They want advantages. If they can get them, why wouldn't you take them? If Trump, Kamala, whatever, goes and says, hey, look, you can make YouTube videos, and we're going to subsidize you doing it, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take that money. Absolutely, I'm going to take that money. And I'm going to say, look, I'm against this policy. I don't like it. I don't want this policy to exist. Does that mean I'm not going to take it? You better believe it means I'm going to take it. Because guess what? We are human. We want this. We want the grift. We like it. We need a little bit of that. We need some kind of, we want a taste of that corruption. It helps. It helps keep people honest. Well, to the degree that we're aware that everybody's on the take. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of honest. It's enlightened self-interest. Bad blood with high stakes, on and on it went as liberals savored the spectacle of their most despised political opponent. Elon, guess what? Up until a year ago, liberals had no problem with Elon. Oh man, he bought Twitter. Oh no. They didn't, look, his policies are all left-wing. His policies are all progressive. They don't like him because they were told to, because, hey, he's impacting the grift. He's impacting, oh man, all these NGOs that are funding protests and all of these politicians that are getting kickbacks. Oh my god, all of a sudden, their piggy bank might be running a little bit dry. They're not getting the infusions from USAID. Okay, well, now you need to go out there and need to burn down Tesla dealerships, and you need to blow up Teslas, and you need to be saying that Elon Musk is an illegal alien and needs to be kicked out, and he's a fascist. And okay, where is that now? All of a sudden, Doge doesn't seem to be impacting the grift. So guess what? He's not public enemy number one anymore. Isn't that fun? Savored. Their most despised political opponents clawing at each other's digital throats, and conservatives reeled at the prospect of having to pick sides. Which is true. I'll be honest, they're not going to pick sides. Conservatives are picking Trump. Elon is not conservative. Conservatives are going to go with Trump. And I've seen some speculation that, look, if Elon hates and is hated by both the conservatives and the liberals, that's great. That's great for freedom of speech because guess what? Now we want to make X the Olympic blood sport freedom of speech platform that it always wanted to be. That'd be good. I'd be cool with that. I'd be very happy with that. Laura Loomer, a right-wing provocateur and conspiracy theorist, saw an opportunity to position herself as the voice of reason. This vice should be taken offline, she said, on social media, of course. Well, where else is she going to say it? The question now is whether Trump and Musk find some way to step back from a battle that is tearing apart one of the most consequential relationships in modern American politics. Again, I think you're making more of this relationship than there is. It's a cool little bromance that happened for, 6-7 months? That's it. That's all that happened. This was not politically consequential. It just wasn't. Okay? Doge, the fact that it exists is great. Would it have happened without Musk? I don't know. That's an I don't know. I'm not sure. Was Trump going to cut stuff? Yeah, I mean, that was the sort of idea. And certainly, look at the Department of Education. Look at these other departments. He's putting people in there that are doing their level best to bring down the amount of, government agencies and these things as much as they can without Congress doing anything. So, does Doge happen without Musk being in there? Maybe not, probably not. Does that mean that government cuts don't happen? Probably not. If they don't, there's little telling how far the fallout could spread from a collision between the world's most powerful man and its wealthiest. At stake are the future of Musk's companies. No, I don't think so, including electric automaker Tesla and rocket manufacturer SpaceX. Government programs that rely on the billionaire entrepreneur's technology. Legislation for advancing tax cuts and Trump's other priorities in Congress. Republican chances in next year's midterm elections, and an entire political ecosystem that is orbited around Trump and Musk's deteriorating partnership. It's like India and Pakistan, said Republican Representative Ryan Zink of Montana, referring to two nuclear-armed nations that recently skirmished along their border. It just escalates, and neither one of them seem to back down and understand the strength of each other. I don't know. Opposites attracted. For a time, Trump and Musk were always an odd pairing, with contrasting worldviews, as I said, and deep generational and stylistic differences. Trump, 78, comes from old school New York real estate and never appears in public without a suit and tie unless he's on the golf course. Before running for president, he became a household name as a reality television star. Musk, 53, is an immigrant from South Africa who struck it rich in Silicon Valley. In addition to running Tesla and SpaceX, Musk owns the social media company X. He's fashioned himself as a black-clad internet edgelord, and his wealth vastly outstrips Trump's. I'm actually curious about that. Everyone says that Trump is using the presidency as like a piggy bank, so shouldn't he be like super duper crazy mega rich? Like where is he now, right? Please let me know in the comments if you know what Trump's current net worth is and how much it's increased since he's become president. I would love to know. But Trump and Musk are kindred spirits in other ways. They're experts in generating attention who enjoy stirring the pot by riling up their opponents. Each has sought more power to accomplish existential quests. Trump assails the federal deep state that resisted him during his first term, while Musk warns about the country going bankrupt from excessive spending and promotes an interplanetary future powered by his rocket technology. Musk endorsed Trump after the Republican candidate was nearly assassinated in Butler, Pennsylvania, which is what won him the election, and he began spending millions to support him. His social media megaphone was a powerful addition to Trump's comeback campaign, magnifying his efforts to court tech leaders and young, Very online men. Okay, the very online men, your chronically online men, they're Democrats. They're voting Democrat 100%. The young men that Trump is courting are not very online. They're not. They're like your blue collar people. And this is backed up. All right? This is backed up. Trump rarely tolerates sharing the spotlight, but he seemed enamored with his powerful backer, mentioning him in stump speeches and welcoming him on stage at rallies. After the election, Musk was a fixture around Mar-a-Lago, posing for photos with Trump's family, joining them for dinner, sitting in on meetings. Instead of growing tired of his first buddy, Trump made plans to bring Musk along to Washington, appointing him to lead a cost-cutting initiative known as the Department of Government Efficiency. Cracks emerge. Musk tried to establish himself as the president's omniscient and omnipresent advisor. He held court and cabinet meetings, slept over in the Lincoln bedroom, and helped himself to caramel ice cream from the White House kitchen. The federal bureaucracy practically trembled before Musk, who oversaw layoffs and downsizing with his team of acolytes and engineers embedded in various agencies. Federal bureaucracy practically trembled. Yeah, they did. They knew they were going to get their stuff through. Musk appeared thrilled at his opportunity to tinker with the government and exulted in his bromance with Trump, posting on February 7th that he loved the president as much as a straight man can love another man. I mean, it's funny. Trump returned the favor on March 11th, allowing Musk to line up Tesla vehicles in the White House driveway as his company was struggling with declining sales. Trump made a show of choosing a cherry red electric car for himself, but cracks were emerging, especially as Trump pursued tariffs that could raise costs for Musk's businesses. Musk said Peter Navarro, the president's trade advisor, was truly a moron and dumber than a sack of bricks on April 8th. The billionaire entrepreneur, who had never before worked in public service, seemed to be souring on government. And this is, I think, the crux of the issue. When you have, again, look, this exact same thing, exact same thing happened with Trump in his first term. He comes from business, and now he's in politics. Politics is not business. Business can be done in a way that is very fast, very efficient, very effective, and very much targeted. Very much, I can do a thing because I want to do it and I think it'll work. It's good. That's it. That's all you need. In government, that is not how it works. In politics in general, it is not how it works. You have to build a consensus. You have to build a coalition. You need other people, not only to pass bills and legislations and these things, but the people that you hire and fire are massively, insanely important. And also, you can't just do it on a whim. As we see, these people who are put into, charge of the Department of Defense, they have to be ratified. They have to go through Congress. And therefore, you can't pick the person that you actually want to do the job. You have to pick the person who you'd like to do the job, but who will be able to be passed through Congress. This is a huge difference. And again, there are advantages and there are disadvantages. One of the disadvantages is that if you want to cut government, you can't do it in the way you want to. So, he suggested there wasn't enough political will, either in Congress, definitely the case, or in the White House to adequately reduce spending. Probably true. Trump, White House, is not really a reduce spending kind of guy. He doesn't really want to, again, he was a Democrat for a good long while. I don't think he minds spending. He's not a traditional conservative in that matter. Again, I want spending reduced. Trump started signaling that it was time for him to leave, even though Musk said he would be willing to stay. Shortly before announcing his departure, Musk said he was disappointed by legislation that Trump called the Big Beautiful Bill, which is not big or beautiful, because it would increase, well, it is big, because it would increase the deficit, and it will. The measure includes tax cuts, more money for border security, and changes to Medicaid that would leave fewer people with health insurance. I think a bill can be big or it could be beautiful, but I don't know if it could be both. Well, it could be big in the sense that it enumerates all of the things you're going to cut. That would be big and beautiful. The criticism didn't prevent Trump from giving Musk a send-off in the Oval Office, where he presented his outgoing advisor with a ceremonial key. Elon is really not leaving. He is going to be back and forth. I'll continue to be visiting here and be a friend and advisor to the president. I'll be honest, I do think that is the case. I don't think the Twitter fight thing is an actual giant rift. I could be wrong, absolutely. But, I mean, come on. Like, Trump going after Ted Cruz on the debates, going after you name it, man. They still work together. This is just, I think both of these guys are good trolls, and they understand. Look, these are people that I don't think are insanely thin-skinned. I don't think so. I think there's lines to be crossed where he would go, nah, screw it, Musk is out, and also, I'll bury him. I'm gonna revoke all this stuff. I'm gonna bury him. I can't screw him over. That's possible. I don't think we're there. The implosion comes hard and fast. It's hard to imagine that now. Musk escalated his attacks on the legislation Tuesday, calling it a disgusting abomination, and Trump tried to fend off the criticism. He hasn't said bad about me personally, but I'm sure that will be next. The president said Thursday in the Oval Office during a meeting with the German chancellor. It was. Musk quickly took to X to vent his anger at Trump, saying his tariffs will cause a recession in the second half of this year, and accused him of lying. He also said it was very unfair that the legislation would eliminate tax incentives for electric vehicles. Now, will it cause a recession in the second half of this year? What's the definition of recession? Are we going by the Biden? Are we going by the Biden era definition of recession, where it's basically just if the government doesn't want it to be a recession, it doesn't count? I remember that. Trump fired back in real time as he tried to maintain momentum for his legislation, which faces a difficult debate in the Senate. And again, I don't really love the bill. I don't love the bill. I don't like it really. I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. Come on. Meanwhile, some of Trump's allies plotted revenge. Steve Bannon, a former Trump advisor who hosts an influential conservative podcast, said the president should direct the U.S. government to seize SpaceX. Come on, that's not going to happen. But again, Steve Bannon has always hated Elon Musk, famously. He also encouraged Trump to investigate allegations that Musk uses drugs and go through everything about his immigration status in preparation for potential deportation. We'll see how good Elon Musk takes a little of that pressure, Bannon said, because I happen to think a little of that pressure might be coming. Okay, well, here's the thing, dude. Steve Bannon, former Trump advisor, again, definitely a big name in conservative circles. He's he's absolutely up there in terms of like influencers and stuff. But when has he been actually advising Trump? When has Trump taken his advice lately? Let me know in the comments. I don't think it's been for years. Years and years and years and years. I don't think so. Alright, with that being said, let me know how this sounded. Let me know what you think about the current state of American politics. Good luck in all your endeavors. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I shall say farewell for now.